Welcome back to another helpful hint. We're going to do number 14. We are going to focus on how to teach students test taking skills, and we're going to use a graphic organizer. Now, I've kind of merged a number of things together. I don't do things in isolation. So I'm taking a strategy called claim evidence reasoning, or CER, and putting it into a graphic organizer because I think the claim evidence reasoning strategy is a good way of teaching students how to approach problems on an assessment. Okay, so I just stay with me. I think differently. So first and foremost, the claim evidence reasoning, the strategy satisfies many of Marzano and Hattie's basis for high yield strategies. So is not as explicit, but in the when I approach a claim evidence reasoning, I have to when I approach a problem, I tend to identify similarities and differences. So I think even though it's not explicit, it is kind of loosely applying to that identifying similarities and differences. Summarizing, you do have to summarize. You have to set an objective. You're making a claim here, and almost like it's not a hypothesis, you're actually declaring something, and then you have to provide evidence to support it. So to me, it's setting an objective and testing your hypothesis, and it taps into question cues and advanced organizers. I'm using an advanced organizer here, but it kind of deals with, do you really understand the question? Okay. For Hattie, it deals with strategy. It's a strategy that integrates prior knowledge because you're going to have to use what you know here. When you don't have a test, you don't have notes in front of you, so you're going to have to tap into what you know. It's a form of scaffolding the way that it's delivered. You have to summarize. You is a great intervention for learning needs. It's a way of to explicitly teach something, and it deals with questioning. So to me, in my abstract kind of thinking, it satisfies many things. So at the bottom left, you see the graphic organizer I created for claim evidence reasoning. Because I put the Q here, it's technically a QCER, but I don't like the Q there. Just use it to me. But the Q means question. You're going to have to, when you have a problem, you have to identify what are they asking you for. Claim is, what's your answer? So I jump straight to the answer. Which one do you want? Which one? Especially if it's a multiple choice. And then evidence is you have to look at what's provided for you and whatever your prior knowledge is that can serve as evidence to your claim. This is why you think this is the answer. And then you rewrite it. You kind of merge the evidence and the claim together to rewrite it in a rational statement. Okay. So here I'm going to show you an example of this. Now you see this question. This question we use in the helping hints number 13, where we're dealing with a Freya model. I would do this. I personally like having a Freya model to go into vocabulary, and then my assessment at the end, I can use a claim evidence reason, but I'll get back to that. So in this case, we have this problem. It has a picture with it, has 2 points here, it has something written at the top, something written at the bottom. And I want the student to basically learn how to approach a problem. So the first thing I want them to do is read it, of course. I want them to look at the graphic. But then I want them to be able to clearly identify what the question is. Quite often, students don't know what the question is. They see all these words and they don't really understand what they're being asked. So in this case, my question is here: which of these occurs just before the cell enters the G2 stage of the cell cycle? So I'm going to take that entire sentence and I'm going to place it here. What are they asking me for here? And if you want to get a little bit more detail or specific, you can have them highlight the key things, key terms in there that's going to help them with their answer. But I didn't do that in this case. I should have. So I'm looking at my choices here. The nuclear membrane disintegrates, DNA replicates, centrioles form, the nucleolus divides. As a student, they're going to come up with an answer, be it right, be it wrong, whatever. A lot of times they don't go through the process of eliminating. But so I'm just going to pretend like I didn't. I'm just going to say my knee-jerk reaction is I think it's G. I'm going to put G there. I'm going to put G, DNA replicates. But here you go. This is why I love this test taking skill, because it forces them to go back to the problem, go back to what's provided for them, go back to the graphic and pull evidence from it. Cite your evidence. What is making you say the DNA replicates? Well, one thing that I see is in the picture, I see that it is a pie, and normally they have like an arrow going from the left to the right. kind of in a circular fashion. They don't have it here, so I'm gonna assume that. So if here's my G2, from my G2, that's M, that's G1, that's S, that's G2, M, G, and I know it's a cycle. So in my cycle, we tend to go from left to right, M, G1, S, G2. So this is showing me that that the S comes before G2 because that's what they're asking me for, right? Now, what if they put it reverse? Because there's no arrow here. So it could be a student, instead of them going from left to right, they could go from right to left. The benefit of them having the evidence here and stating it is, now I know why you chose your answer. So I can see, they did this. They chose this because of this reason. Even if it's wrong, the rationale is not completely wrong. They are going sequential. They just went in the wrong direction. So I like that. Okay, so that's my evidence, and I probably could have cited something up here. Well, there's nothing really up here that gives it away. Now I know I'm gonna have to use a little bit of prior knowledge, and I didn't write this down here, but I know that the synthesis stage, because it doesn't have here. I go F. F doesn't say anything about S. It doesn't tell me S, G, anything down here. So I'm gonna need to know what this S stage does. So my reasoning is, I know that in the synthesis phase stage, DNA is replicated. So synthesis occurs before G2 stage, and DNA is replicated in the S stage. I probably should have put synthesis, DNA happens in the S stage here, but it doesn't matter because my reasoning states it. So that's all it is. It's just, here's a problem, identify the question, what's your answer, why do you think is your answer, and then put the rationale. Restate your reasoning or rationale where it states your claim and it provides your evidence. It's easy peasy. That's all it is. Claim, evidence, reasoning. So one way that you can do this is, you can do this at any point. You can do this whenever they have to answer a question. It could be an open-ended question. It could be a multiple choice question. It could be whatever you want. This is the beautiful thing about it, because you can make a multiple choice question an open-ended question. And if I want to grade this, I don't even have to do a whole bunch of problems. I can do maybe 2 problems, because each problem has 4 different things. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever is missing or whatever is short, I can say, if you got 2 of these wrong, then 2 out of 4, you got to fit me. It's easy to grade. But I can do it as prior to figure out what they know prior to a concept being discussed. I can do it during the lesson, somewhere as they learning it, and I can do it somewhere after they learn it. I can do this strategy at any point in my instruction. So hopefully this strategy helps you. You do not have to put it in a graphic organizer format. I just think it's the easiest for students to remember it that way. And it's easy for me to grade. I can grade boxes easily, quickly. Okay, hopefully it helps. Okay. Keep looking for my next helpful hint number 15. Bye.